Fans said we had an excuse. Quiz Rogers couldn't play. 2 years ago, Ducks fans said, wait a minute. Our excuse was Dennis Dixon was hurt. Tonight, no excuses. All the playmakers on both sides are healthy and ready to go. Oregon won the toss, and they want the football. So Cliff Harris, Kenyon Barner back deep to receive the kickoff of Cahoot. It's a short one. And this is Barner. Good coverage as he barely makes the 20-yard line. So here comes the tough, gritty, dual threat leader of this Oregon offense, Jeremiah Masoli. There's a flag on the kickoff. Both these teams at times troubled this season by penalties. We may see a few of these. Michael Batlin leading the Pac-10 crew tonight.
Dead ball. Personal foul, late hit. Number 81 on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
A mistake by Roy Cavalier, the receiver, and already Masoli backed up to his 10-yard line. Here's a look at the penalty.
Just a lot of emotions running.
Middle of your screen there.
That's what happens when you get in these in-state rivalry games. There is no love lost between these opponents.
So LaMichael James offset behind Masoli. No motion to the left side now. Masoli throwing near side. It's complete. DJ Davis fighting across the 20-yard line. So the junior with his 21st catch of the season wrestled out by Tim Clark.
Jeremiah Masoli may be the perfect weapon in Chip Kelly's spread offense. He is the truest threat, both running and throwing the football.
And a team that comes in averaging 231 yards a game on the ground, opening up, throwing the ball. Don't be misled. This young man at 58%, he can throw it as well.
This is James. He's dropped for a loss. A flag is down. He's actually still going, and he gains a couple yards. You can't quit on LaMichael James. We'll check the marker.
Offsides. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Oregon State desperate to win first down to get the Ducks in third down, where this powerful offense is actually below average. But the penalty makes it 1st and 5. Kind of tough. Masoli fires right side. Intercepted. Deflects off a receiver's hands, and this is James Dockery. The junior with his second pick. Often early in a game, adrenaline creates inaccuracy for Masoli. That was a high pitch.
Absolutely, Chris, and it also does the same thing for a receiver. It was a really pitch and catch deal, a very firm ball that was tried to hit in the slot. Yards after the catch, a little high, but still the receiver, Dixon, usually makes that catch.
That's just a fastball coming out of the gate. That looks like Brett Favre back in the day for the Green Bay Packers. You get all amped up and fired up. This ball just needs to be a body throw. It's a bit high, and the worst thing that can happen is that ball getting tipped up in the air. But give James Dockery a lot of credit for his composure and his ability to snag that. Huge turnover early for Oregon State.
So Carson York, the guard, trotting off. It's a rarity. This is not a takeaway-oriented defense. Only 13 takeaways now all season. That's only the 8th interception. But Oregon State's offense, great field position. Here comes Canfield with Quiz Rogers in the backfield. James Rogers in motion, and it's a fly sweep to open the offensive series and an 8-yard gain for the older of the Rogers brothers.
Sean Canfield, the coaches brag about him in terms of his poise and composure. That's going to get tested here tonight in this environment.
And it wasn't just 2 years ago when Mike Riley was trying to get this young man to figure out how to throw an easy catchable ball. Now all of a sudden he's 70% with the top pass efficiency guys in the country.
Canfield, relaxed guy, comes from the San Diego area, says he believes he deserves to be the All-Pac-10 quarterback this year. Empty backfield on 2nd and short, and they flip it off. Incomplete. Tried to dump off the screen there. It'll be 3rd and 2. Brandon Bear, the tackle, got pressure on Canfield.
There are a lot of things on the line in this game in addition to the Rose Bowl. Like, who is the Pac-10 best quarterback? These two guys squaring off tonight. Canfield has a case for it.
Chip Kelly, the head coach of Oregon, told us the all Pac-10 quarterback's the one that wins this game tonight. It'll be interesting to see.
Here comes that Austin noise on 3rd and 2. Canfield, quick fire. And it's James Rogers, 1st and goal. So tough to stop Rogers. Talmadge Jackson, their best corner, made the quick tackle, but moving the chains, that's what they do well.
Did you see there? Just watch the motion here by Rogers. Watch how they move him just a little bit from the right side, and that gives him the ability to run that option route and just squat for the first down.
You see how calm Sean Canfield stays in the pocket. At 6'4", it's very easy for him to survey the field in that short to intermediate area.
This is Quiz Rogers. Very good inside runner for a little guy, but wrestled down immediately by Bear. Oregon State really excels in these goal-to-go situations. They've scored touchdowns 88% of the time. You guys realize that Canfield down here in the red zone has not thrown a pick, and he's thrown 17 touchdown passes, Jesse.
Very, very efficient. The old adage coaches talk about touchdowns or checkdowns. He does not make mistakes in this area of the field.
Canfield chase, has to dump it off. And the Ducks defense all over Quiz Rogers, who's had a big impact as a receiver this year. 67 catches, but a lot of them short like that one.
That's okay. They're trying to get space and allow him to make plays. And that's really kind of been an addition to this offense. It's really opened up. It's been the next step for Oregon State.
Well, Jacques Rogers could not participate in spring drills. He had a shoulder injury, but he would wait 15-20 minutes after practice to get throwing time with Sean Canfield. And boy, oh boy, has that showed up this year.
And the Beavers cash the interception in. 3rd and goal. Canfield looking left, fires for the end zone. Caught, but muscled out short of the pylon. Lamola Adeniji is their big target possession receiver. Excellent hands, covered by James Lewis there, so it's 4th and goal.
And you know what, Adeniji, watch when he puts his foot in the ground and how he goes. And this is the timing, and that's the arm, the strength of Canfield.
So a decision for Riley, and Canfield still in the game. Ball inside the 1-yard line. 2 tight ends and the fullback, Will Darkins. It's Quiz in the I formation. Quiz Rogers, touchdown. So the takeaway by the Beavers defense. The offense cashes it in. And Mike Riley, a little mini gamble to start this game, and it pays off.
Well, he was given a bonus with the turnover, right? And he felt like on the road, here's a football team we're going up against that's going to score a lot of points. Well, why not take advantage of it?
20th time Quiz Rogers has scored a rushing touchdown this year. Justin Cahoot makes it 7-zip. So Masoli's interception cashed in by the Beavers, and this offense that's used to playing with the lead will have to battle from behind here in the first quarter.
Eastern, Wednesday on ESPN.
3.5 minutes into this game at Autzen Stadium. Beavers have the lead as Kenyon Barner runs it out across the 25-yard line. So we'll see if Masoli can settle down. He's a junior, comes from the Bay Area against Arizona. Previous game for the Ducks. You know about the heroics there. Got off to a fast start, but then Arizona took the lead, and there was this marathon drive to win it. Touchdown to Dixon there. There's the improvisational skills. He flips it to the end zone, and Mail makes the touchdown catch. And then double overtime, touchdown run to win it. But that 15-play, 80-yard drive to tie it at the end of regulation, a part of Ducks lore. Masoli takes off. Oh, just got tripped up, knocked down to the 35-yard line. Had a potential big gainer there. And Stephen Paya, the best defensive player for the Beavers, just got him by the foot.
Jesse, we've watched game film on these. Have we seen a fake screen one side and the quarterback run to the left yet?
Not yet on tape.
Look at the strength of that big guy. He got Masoli down, who's got some thick legs with one arm. That's how strong Stephen Paya is. Bonner keeps it. On the end around, he's into Beaver territory. The backup tailback to LaMichael James shows his speed. Dockery drives him out. 19 yards.
I think the biggest part of this Chip Kelly offense, Craig, is deception. Who has the football and where on the field are they?
And how about coming up with a completely different wide receiver for your option back? He becomes just like an option back out of the backfield.
Empty backfield now. It's James to the far right of the formation for Masoli, who looks that direction and fires a completion across the middle. And that is Jeff Mail, the junior. Tough receiver. Takes all kinds of big shots, holds onto the ball.
Yeah, last week, 12 catches, 114 yards in that win against Arizona and 2 touchdowns. But this is why Mike Riley went for the touchdown and not the 3. You see this offense marching.
And marching quickly. Masoli keeps it. Has a crease. And inside the 25. You see why Masoli averages 5.5 yards a carry this season.
Over 1,300 yards on the ground in his career. That's tops for any quarterback in Oregon history. But Craig, what I love about him, unlike other quarterbacks, he doesn't slide. He'll hunt you up in the secondary and try to run you over.
One of the best plays we've seen was last year in the Holiday Bowl when he ran over an Oak State defender.
Yes,
just lit him up.
James out of the far left of the formations. Masoli rose the other way and finds man over the middle. This is Ed Dixon, the tight end, down to the 5. So Masoli using a variety of weapons on this drive. It's Mail.
3 receivers to the right. The tempo of the game. A little bit of confusion in that Oregon State defense trying to figure out the pace of it.
And Oregon hurrying it up right now with their tempo.
James at the 4. Lance Mitchell, the safety, filling.
This Oregon State defense only giving up a little bit over 98 yards a game on the ground this season. That's tops in the Pac-10, but boy, oh boy, do they have their work cut out for them against these 2 guys are going to see tonight, Masoli and James.
Well, it's the top scoring offense in the Pac-10 at 37 a game, so we'll see which one has a better job tonight in the red zone.
On 2nd and goal. James again finds that little crease, muscles down near the goal line for a guy who goes 180 pounds. Tremendously strong legs.
He squats upwards of 475 pounds. For a guy that's only 5'9" and a $180, you'd never expect that. And that's why he's broken off so many long runs this year.
He was able to punch it in early. Now it's the Ducks' turn to try on 3rd and goal. James lowers the head and drives to the end zone. Let the shootout begin as Oregon answers. Good-looking drive. Morgan Flint, senior kicker from Bend, Oregon, one of only 2 starters for the Ducks from this state for the extra point. And a good hold by Nate Costa, who had to make a clutch hold in that conversion against Arizona. Rob Beard to kick it off for the Ducks, who have just tied the game. And this is James Rogers, all-purpose stud for the Beavers, trying to get the corner. Chris, thanks. Second possession now for the Beavers, and Canfield back to throw on first down, loops it near midfield. Nice catch, Marcus Wheaton, the true freshman. Only 6 catches coming in, but showing the speed.
When you ask coaches at Oregon State about Sean Canfield, they all say something very interesting. They say he's a beautiful passer. You don't hear that very often, do you, Craig?
No, and 2 tight ends in there, maximum protection, had a little blitz up inside with the linebackers, stepped up in the pocket, and what a great, strong arm with some touch.
25 yards on that completion. Canfield had 3 short completions in the Beavers' touchdown drive. James Rogers on the fly sweep again. Gets a block on the edge. And dances out. It's a nice 8-yard gain. Will Darkins, the fullback, through the block.
Darkins, he had a great block on the touchdown run, too. Man, Darkins showed up tonight for the Civil War.
Very impressed right now with how this Oregon State offense has been able to handle the noise here. They're keeping their composure. You have to remember, Autzen Stadium is a place where opposing offenses average 4 false starts a game. We have not seen that yet from Oregon State.
Yeah, they did all the usual stuff, Jesse. They practice with noise, silent counts, but until you really experience it, you never know how an offensive line is going to handle it. Canfield throwing on second and short, has time, and fires far side for James Rogers, out inside the 30. That's another beautiful throw.
A lot of anticipation on this throw. James Rogers nowhere near coming out of his break on the comeback route, but Sean Canfield trusting it.
And watch the receiver skills. Watch the body adjust to the ball in the air. Right? You know, Rogers knows he probably can't, as a traditional receiver, keep his hands on top, move his body so he can basket.
And we walked on the field before. There's a big crown on this field, too. Those outward throws, those aren't easy to make.
Here's Quiz. Clear penetration. Drop at the line of scrimmage. Casey Matthews would love to get to the Rose Bowl. His big brother, Clay, been there a few times for USC. His father, Clay Matthews Sr., a couple Rose Bowl rings as well.
We saw Bruce Matthews, his son, playing last week for A&M. There's Matthew guys all over the place.
That's a pretty good pedigree, I think.
Casey's let his hair grow long.
Hey, you have to.
Brother, huh?
If you're a Matthews, you have to.
So Ducks defense able to win on first down for a change. 2nd and 10. Here comes pressure. Canfield stands, delivers, overthrown, looking for Rogers. Not a sack, but they were able to maybe speed up the delivery of that pass.
You know what? And this is not a good route this time by James Rogers. Watch how he comes in. Keep going. Keep working to the outside. That's where the ball was.
You got to run through that football. You can't just stick one arm out there. Right now, Oregon defensively giving a lot of outbreaking throws, isolating corners outside, and that's where Sean Canfield is trying to take advantage.
And they're picking up the blitz right now. The offensive line doing a really good job.
Ducks rush only 3. Canfield in the flat to Quiz Rogers. Makes one man miss, but can't get the first down. The first man was James Lewis. Missed the tackle, but held up Quiz long enough for help to get there.
And that's why Sean Canfield is the most efficient passer in the Pac-10, because he's not greedy. He understands the situation. It's not there downfield. Check it down. Get the field goal team on the field.
The reliable Justin Cahoon. He's 17 of 20. Less than 50 yards. This is well within his range. Just over 40 yards. And he sneaks it through. So Oregon State, good looking 56-yard drive, reclaims the lead at Autzen Stadium. Barner again. Collision at the 25-yard line. Let's go to Aaron Andrews.
Hey, Chris, after Oregon's scoring drive, head coach Chip Kelly met his quarterback on the field, not to congratulate him and say, hey, great job. He said, hurry up. Why are you guys taking so long? Let's go, move quicker. Another thing he's screaming from the sidelines, guys, finish. You need to finish. So he definitely wants this thing to be a hurry up tempo here.
He's a fast talker. They practice fast, they meet fast, they play fast, they score fast. Kelly, he's got high standards. That was 3 minutes and 7 seconds to march down the field. Wasn't fast enough for him.
Too slow, Chris, too slow.
Masoli gives it to James. Stutter set from LaMichael, but a good job. They stayed at home that time.
Touching back on that, I know every offense in the country says this, but this Oregon offense really believes that they cannot be stopped. Self-inflicted wounds are the only thing that they believe stops themselves.
And the conditioning point for the football team, like against USC, when they pounded them in the second half, they felt like that USC just was done. And they feel like that conditioning and the tempo that they do in practice prepares them to outwork their opponent.
James takes a big hit at the line of scrimmage. They're not afraid to run it on 2nd and 9, but now it's going to be 3rd and long. You see Keaton Christic, the senior, who likes to think of himself as the biggest hitter, the most feared defensive player in the Pac-10.
And he's a different guy when you talk to him. You know, he's
different headshot. Look at that face.
That's the most violent player in the Pac-10 you're looking at right there.
That's a locker room favorite guy right there. You know that he is a clown that has fun with life.
Shows up for the picture with Bedhead on 3rd and 9. Masoli takes a shot downfield. Loops is complete. And Nail in a foot race. Delivers. Hey, Coach Kelly, is that quick enough for you? 73 yards on the pass. They got single coverage out there. Nail beat Dockery. This is fun.
As advertised.
Morgan Flint makes it 14-10. That one took just 1:23 in 3 plays. Eugene's going to be printing T-shirts all night for the winning side, which will be Rose Bowl bound. Canfield and the Beavers at their 35. And this is Quiz. They faked it to James. Pitch to Quiz Rogers, and finally, Quiz has some running room into Oregon territory before Boyette drove him out.
Last 2 possessions, Oregon State's had a false start, and they've had the pass interference, so they have a positive start here. An outside blocking, great job of coming around with Alex Linenthal with the block and the receivers downfield.
You see how everything starts with that fly sweep and the fake to James Rogers. It just takes the entire defense's attention away from little Quiz Rogers.
Both these teams have good blocking wide receivers. There's a Dinergy downfield helping out Quiz. Hand off to James Rogers around the head. Instant penetration there by the safety, TJ Ward, to disrupt the play, and then Matthews cleaned it up.
Craig, I like what you just said there. It's so critical right now for Oregon State to stay ahead of the chains, because when you watch Sean Canfield tonight so far, he's looked very, very good. Very poised, very accurate, getting through his progressions.
You know, and he's made some nice throws. It has been the mistakes, though, that's cost him. So they can keep away from that. They got a shot at it.
Yeah, it's been those self-inflicted wounds. That's what Ducks always talk about. That's hurt Oregon State so far. Draw play. Quiz. Little crease. And a flag comes in late. Rogers stopped for 4-yard gain. Just when you were saying they were avoiding penalties, this one looks like the major variety. Illegal block below the waist.
Alien Illegal crackback block by number 8 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Remains second down.
It's James Rodgers, his second penalty tonight. You saw Riley say, what the heck?
Yeah, and he comes in from the top of the field back into the play and just not using his head. There's a couple of plays there now against him, back-to-back possessions.
Well, that's the second big penalty from him right here. You see, just going low.
Will Crawford just kind of shook it off, got back on his feet. That erases a game, moves the ball all the way back to the Beaver 37. Second and 25. This is a lot to overcome. Canfield dumps it off to Quiz. Makes a man miss. Quiz Rodgers off and running. Boy, is he slippery and strong. Casey Matthews had him, couldn't corral him, and a huge play.
That was second in the distance between Corvallis and Eugene, and they just get a little slip screen delayed out to Jacquizz Rodgers, and really this play should be stopped by Matthews, but he slips the tackle.
And I'm laughing, Fowler's laughing, and just watching this young man run, but he's got 67 on the season receptions. The troops, do you think they like it?
Yeah, the ones in orange and black do. 48-yard gain. Jovan Stevenson now in the game, spelling Quiz. And first down from the 15. And another flag. Ducks are pointing at the offensive line.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 70 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's the ex-walk-on Grant Johnson, the left guard, and that's the second false start to go with the delay of game tonight for Oregon State.
And you get down into that student section by this end zone. That's probably the loudest point of the field here tonight. This is where it's so critical, most critical, for this Oregon State offense to just keep its poise.
And if it's one of the loudest spots here, then it's one of the loudest spots in college football.
Yep.
Because Austin is right up there. 7th flag on Oregon State. Looks to his right, fires far side, and the catch is made. Casey Chose, junior, academic all-conference, driven out by Boyette.
Well, and again, just to remind you, in the red zone here, now there have been 16 of the last 18 have been for touchdowns. So this is a very efficient touchdown scoring offense when they get down there. That's because of Canfield.
No question about it, Craig. He just makes such good decisions when he's in this area. He does not force the football. Even that completion there makes this second down so much more manageable.
Quiz Rodgers back in the game and to the left of Canfield. He's got it up the leg. That time they stuff him. No gain. Simi Toyana, the backup tackle. One of the many players of Polynesian descent on both sides tonight. Guys talk about the pride coming from the Polynesian community, playing for their families. They've worked so hard to get to the United States. Guys trying to make the most of the opportunities that football have given them. 3rd and 6. Canfield rolls to his left, fired short, broken up. Cliff Harris is a true freshman corner. Reached an arm in. James wanted a flag, didn't get it.
You know, that's a great play of driving to the ball by Harris, going to the inside, hand right there on the right.
Get that hand around him?
He had it on there, hugging him, loving him.
Ticky-tack. I like the coverage. As a true freshman, he's been getting picked on a lot here in recent weeks. Nice play by him.
Well, Riley feels like his team's getting picked on with the flags. He wanted one there and said Cahoot. Connected earlier from 40. This from 28. Knocks it through. So midway second quarter, Oregon State has to settle for 3, considering that they were backed up by the penalty. Not a bad result of the drive, but Coach Riley wanted another flag on Oregon.
Go for football.
Rodgers on the fly sweep. Finds a little crease and motors down to the 10. 8-yard gain. James Lewis on the stop. But again, a defense not known for takeaways. In fact, a striking lack of them this season once again set their offense up.
Yeah, ranked 115 in the country. I'd say that's pretty low. There are only about 3 or 4 more that you can go down. So, but that's, you know what, when you're on the road, you got to do something.
And you know what? When you're in these in-state rivalry games, we've always said it, statistics, throw them out the window.
Second and 2, they fake it to James, pitch it back to Quiz. Slips away, and finally the pursuit grabs him for no gain. Nico Alonso stops him. It'll be 3rd and short.
Kind of surprised so far in this game that the fly sweep has worked so well for Oregon State here today. We spoke to Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator at Oregon, yesterday in his room on the blackboard, marker board. Stop the fly sweep. It's written all over the place. That's still been the major weapon.
There were so many different things written on those boards. If you have any semblance of ADD, you got no chance of learning in there. I was all over the map yesterday with Aliotti's office.
It just goes to show you all the weapons and everything you have to worry about for Oregon State.
Back in his 3rd stint as D coordinator here at Oregon. Boy, does he want this one badly tonight. Quiz hitting the backfield. Kiko Alonso, who's a backup middle linebacker, a couple of big plays on this series. It'll force a field goal attempt.
Yeah, you know what? This is just a blown assignment up front. Guards got to come off on that. Somebody has to come off to linebacker level. They never got through with the scoop.
So once again, the Ducks defense making a little stand here after the fumble. Set up the Beavers in the red zone. They force the field goal attempt. Cahoot trying to make it 3 for 3. This from 29 yards. And the Beavers regain the lead here. Twice turnovers by the Ducks have set up Oregon State deep in the home team's territory. That time, only 3 points. And here's Barner, who had the touchdown call back in the previous return. Hurdling into open space, and another good-looking return out across the 40-yard line. 160 total yards so far for Oregon's offense, but those 2 costly turnovers. This is James back in the game. Masoli keeps it. Jeremiah Masoli weaving through the secondary. Dwight Roberson tracked him down after a 15-yard gain. He's thick, but he's quick, huh?
Yeah, you know, boy, I tell you what, just talking about that zone read, that's what they hurt Arizona with last week.
Heard a lot of teams with it. Masoli keeps it again, this time around the edge. Can't get away. Just about a 4-yard gain. Is stepping up was Lance Mitchell. Their zone read is a little bit different. They try to fool the interior defensive lineman instead of the defensive end. It's a different look than some teams.
Yeah, Chris, they do, and they bring a lot of different guys in motion to add to the deception they're trying to create. And we asked Mike Riley, the head coach of Oregon State this week, have you ever practiced the zone read as much as you have for this game? He said, no way.
Play action. Masoli fires off his back foot, just throws it away. There was heavy pressure that time for the Beavers as Stephen Paya, the man who forced the fumble in the last series, was in there quickly. A guy that grew up in Tonga playing rugby, thought he'd be a professional rugby player. Now applying his huge strength to the football field.
Well, football becomes rugby many times.
Well, pays better.
You know, you remember him in this game last year throwing around Oregon center Max Unger, who's now playing in the National Football League. I mean, he's a guy that Chip Kelly, he spotted him out. We said, what guy worries you on defense? He said, number 54.
He's the best kind of physical specimen on this defense. James to the right of the formation on 3rd down. Masoli rolls that way, flips it short, and the catch made underneath and inside the 30 for a first down. Tuanang, his second catch tonight.
And, you know, at the beginning of this game, we said the one thing that Masoli does so well is extends plays. You know, buy time, move around, receivers open, accurate on the run.
It's hard for him to sit in the pocket because he's only 5'11". It's not easy for him to see over those offensive linemen. That's why oftentimes he's got to roll out.
Keeps it, fires far side. 2-A again. Picks up 9 more. Chip Kelly finding some mismatches in probing that Oregon State defense.
Multiple options there. The read. If the run's there, he runs it. Instead, he pulls up and throws the ball outside.
The component to this offense is stretching the defense in as many ways possible and then getting your playmakers the ball in space. And you're seeing it tonight.
And if 13 had the interception in the opening series. Dixon, the tight end, motions to the left. They'll fake it to James. Nope, he's got it. So he did a good job carrying out that fake, and James runs for a first down to the 15.
Oregon State defensive coordinator Mark Banker said that Jeremiah Masoli looks like David Copperfield back there. It's so difficult. He does a great job with the ball handling.
And you know what? And he's consistent. And they do change the guy they're reading. You know what? They're going to, one time he'll read inside, then it'll be outside, be a linebacker. So this is a really tough offense to hone in on and think you can just come downhill at him.
That was James' longest run of the game so far. 5 yards, moves the chains. Masoli still got it. Pressured now. He just throws it away. Paul Louis got in his face. Both these teams so good at converting in the red zone, scoring touchdowns, not kicking field goals. It's just that coming in, Oregon's defense was so much better in that department than Oregon State's. Defending the red zone, forcing field goal attempts instead of touchdowns. It's been a real problem for Oregon State. Masoli pressured again. Extends, gets away, and dumps it off. Catch made by David Paulson, and he muscles down inside the 5. Just his 12th catch of the season. Got away from Paul Louis.
That's just all Jeremiah Masoli here. You saw this in their last game against Arizona. Just pure effort, making a guy miss and then spitting the football out.
The thing that impresses me so much when he does move and run and extend the play is his athletic ability and how he's just able to wing the football. He's got a really good arm for a scrambler.
James motions now to the right side on 1st and goal. Masoli keeps it, puts the ball on the ground and has to fall on it. Again, Paya there to knock it loose, and ball security just a problem all year for the quarterback.
It's always been that way for Jeremiah Masoli, and it's been giving his coaching staff headaches. He can be very careless with the football at times, and you see it right there.
You got lucky. And Paya is so strong. You better be careful with the ball when he's around. Forced 4 fumbles this season. And 2nd and goal. This is James. Knife into the end zone. Nice tug-of-war here in the first half as the Ducks reclaim the lead. A 58-yard drive, 10 plays. Took him just 3-11. James with his 12th and 13th rushing touchdowns of the season tonight. A minute to go before halftime.
Really caught on this particular play, Oregon State just being soft and sitting back at the linebacker level. Got the clear hole on the right side. Linebacker came through, missed it there.
So the hesitation by David Louis, the middle linebacker. But what I love about this, Craig, is when LaMichael James decides he's going north, the foot goes in the ground, and it's 0 to 60 now.
And so do the Rogers boys on the other side. You know, that's impressive from these smaller runners. They run by so many arm tackles.
But they're coaching that in Texas high school, not anywhere else. So you watch these guys, it's unbelievable.
Not big yardage from Quiz Rogers or James, but he's reached the end zone twice on short runs. As LaMichael, as his teammates call him. What do you think now? Does Riley take a shot? He and his offensive coordinator Danny Langsdorf, minute 19 to go.
3 timeouts. You got a lot of time to work your offense, work your plan. Lots of time here, especially with that guy playing quarterback.
Yeah. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. 19 touchdown passes, 6 interceptions, so you got confidence.
But he's been money tonight, right? I mean, the only incompletions we've seen for the most part tonight have been drops.
Beard's kick. There's Rogers back to the 9. Good coverage again. Minute 12 before halftime. They'll take over at the 25. Here comes the crowd noise, trying to make it tough on Canfield. 7 penalties in the first half. Huge part of the story for Oregon State. Play action. Takes a shot downfield. Has James Rogers. And it's broken up at the last minute. And here comes a flag on Talmadge Jackson. Rogers had him beat. A little bit underthrown. Jackson collided with the receiver a little too early.
8 players in the box for Oregon's defense.
Pass interference. Defense number 37. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And you know, when you talk about the throw here, underthrown, Rogers had to wait on it. Clearly it's pass interference. But man, when you get one-on-one outside, hit it.
But underthrows aren't always the worst thing, though, because this is one of the possibilities. Sometimes when you underthrow it, the corner cannot locate the football, and at worst, you get a pass interference.
Yeah, it's a good penalty for Jackson to take instead of the huge gain down inside the 35. The ball's at the Beavers' 40. Shows pressure but backs off. Canfield plenty of time. Incomplete. Some confusion with Quiz Rogers underneath. And Michael Clay, the true freshman linebacker, had it bounce off him. Not a lot of teams would play single coverage on the outside. James Rogers trying to protect the lead before halftime.
That was my point, though. A while ago, you get the single out there, and he just underthrown a little bit, but...
And that's a gamble out there. Woo. I know Jackson's a good cover corner. James Rogers to the right. Canfield looks that way quickly, delivers it short. This is Quiz, knocked out of the 45-yard line. It'll be third at about 5.
Man, Canfield is good. Jesse, you know, I know this impresses you. Coming into this season, Canfield had thrown an interception 1 out of every 22 attempts. He's moved that number up now, 1 every 62.
He just has such a good feel in this system, understanding where to go with the football. He does really well getting through his progressions, but at the same time, he's got a really good clock in his head. He understands when he's got to get to the check down or throw it away.
Need 5 yards on third down. Only 1 of 7 on third down tonight. Canfield over the middle. Looks for James Rogers. So frustrated trying to cover this guy. Just able to move the chains again and again. You know the quarterback's looking for him.
What impresses me, too, for a 5'7" wide receiver, not only is he lethal on the outside of the field, but here's a 5'7" guy just posting up over the center.
That was a 10-yard gain right at his average. 6 catches for 60 yards. On the first down, Canfield again throws underneath there. They don't use the tight ends too often, but Joe Halahuni has become a little bit of a weapon as Riley will spend a timeout here, 29 seconds before halftime. This is when you begin to focus on James Rogers and Quiz. Halahuni will work his way free.
Halahuni I did their game several weeks ago against USC. Halahouni was the difference in that ball game. He had 9 catches against USC. So that was the way that they were able to really pounce on USC to the middle of the field using the tight end.
This team does such a good job finding multiple ways to get the football thrown in the middle of the field, whether it's post routes to split safeties, little angle routes by the running backs out the backfield, delayed screens to the tight end, Joe Halahouni. He's a guy, 250 pounds. He's a load to bring down, and there's a spot for him in this offense.
GCS Bowl bids by conference. Talked about the matchups that'll shape the championship scenario on Saturday. TCU has to feel very comfortable. Boise State feeling good about their large chances as well, provided that Texas doesn't stumble against Nebraska.
Yeah, why not? They should.
Beavers still 2 more timeouts to work with here in 29 seconds. But that'll move them back 5. That's going to be a 3rd false start.
Looks like it was the true freshman left tackle, Michael Phillip.
Dead ball, false start, 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
You got to be a prodigy to play left tackle in the Pac-10 as a true freshman. He is a brilliant blue chip recruit, a rarity for Oregon State.
He's the first starter on the offensive line for Oregon State since 1997, but you wondered how he would respond in this environment tonight.
First and 15. Canfield feels the pressure, steps up. Throws it away at the last minute and gets it free to his tight end. You see the strength of the quarterback there. Got it free. Brady Camp makes his first catch for 10 yards.
Tukuafu, 39, comes off the corner, and I mean humming, redirects, messes up the play. Watch the athleticism of Canfield to get that ball off.
It's a good thing he's left-handed, throwing to his left on that side of the field. But how about Brady Camp? 5th catch on the season. Not very utilized, but big time there.
Oh, there's impressive strength by Canfield to wing that pass as he's being knocked to the ground. 20 seconds and a half. Pressure again. Canfield delivers a strike over the middle and a touchdown, James Rogers. Defense gambles, and they beat the true freshman corner, Cliff Harris.
And the offensive line did their job. The gamble came, O-line picked it up, bought him time for the throw down the field.
And an absolutely perfect dime thrown by Sean Canfield.
Beavers offense normally very balanced, but Quiz Rogers' runs have been shut down tonight. It's been Canfield through the air, 208 passing yards.
It was the double post concept, basically. They're trying to get the inside safety cleared out of the field with a post from the inside, and that frees up James Rogers on the stutter post on the outside.
Yeah, you saw that the occupation there of the free safety. That's 2 balls now that James Rogers has gone in and fought for and won over the defensive backs. And, you know, he may not be a true wide receiver, but a slot receiver, outstanding.
It's been James Rogers, the older of the brothers by 14 months, who's been the stud tonight, not Quiz. Cahoot kicks it away. This is Barnett. Loses the ball. And the Ducks have to dive on it. Nearly a disastrous turnover. 7 seconds before halftime, which would have given the Beavers a chance to add more points.
Ball security has been a huge issue here tonight. It's cold, and I don't know if that's affecting anything or not, but that's the 3rd or 4th time now that ball's been on the ground.
How many times have we seen the 3 fumbles tonight? Paye done 2 of them. There's another one where they're stripping the ball. If you're Oregon coaches now, you better go in at halftime and say, fellas, they are stripping the football tonight. Make sure you have hands on the ball, ball security.
The Ducks have fumbled it 23 times this season. They've lost 14 of them. And it's the underdogs from Oregon State coming in here to Autzen Stadium undaunted. back on top now. They'll get the ball to start the second half, and it's that Ducks defense that'll have to step up, and Oxen a little quiet right now.
How about Oregon State's defense? We talked about the best rushing offense in the conference from Oregon against the best rushing defense from Oregon State. Oregon State right now winning that battle.
Yeah, you'd have to be ecstatic if you hold the Ducks to 71 rushing yards and a half. James takes off, and LaMichael James on the final play of the first half weaves down inside the 45-yard line. Riley can catch his breath now. From the day in Pasadena, winner take all Pac-10 championship game as Jimmy V Week continues. Continue our commitment to the V Foundation for Cancer Research and tribute to Jamil Bano and his dream to defeat cancer. So the Beavers, after taking the lead just before halftime, will get the ball to begin the second half. Short kick, and this is James Rogers, who had a big first half as a receiver, knocked down at the 25-yard line. A pretty even first half, 254 for the Ducks, 253 for the Beavers, but the problem, the 2 turnovers for Oregon in the first half.
Well, they just got to have better ball security. And, you know, Chip Kelly was talking about that going in at halftime, that we just got to take care of our business and not turn it over. The ball's on the ground, the interception they had, and, you know, if they don't do that, at home, it's a different game.
It's the self-inflicted wounds that Chip Kelly talked about. That's the only thing that stopped them. Like Chris mentioned, halfway to 500 total yards right now. They have to play smarter and just take care of the football.
Home Depot coaching adjustment. Don't drop the ball. Very simple. The first have to stop Canfield, who's been hot, and he delivers again. This is Rogers again. John Boyette knocked him down, but a 10-yard gain.
And I tell you something else that's going to have to be mindful of in this football game. Sean Canfield, 16 of 21. Oregon has to do something to disrupt his time.
They have to get pressure on him, and they have not done a good enough job of that in the first half. The 6'4" quarterback, the 5th-year senior, has been back there unflustered, picking this Oregon defense apart.
Ducks trying to induce another flinch from that offensive line.
Dead ball. False start. Number 83 on the offense.
That's the 4th for Oregon State. Aaron?
First down.
Well, that flag not going to make Oregon State head coach Mike Riley happy. He told me all the penalties for his team in that first half is all about playing with poise and patience. His message to his team, guys, the score is now 0-0. Make every play, and let's go out here in the second half and not have any regrets.
I love Riley, the philosopher. Yeah, the 7 5-yard penalties now for Oregon State. They've been able to overcome them. And 1st and 15, Canfield looks to his right, now flushed. He's not much of a running threat. Darts upfield for a couple, but he's driven out. Is there a flag there? No. 7 yards is the longest run from scrimmage for this quarterback, so he's not going to hurt you with his legs.
Yeah, it should have been a flag there. Hit him after he got out of that white chalk. But, you know, the penalties really have throughout this game. Every time Oregon State does something good, they'll have a false start. You know, they've had the illegal use of hands against James Rogers, the receiver.
I'm impressed how they, for the most part, overcome them.
Yeah.
And then points on 5 drives in the opening half. Twice given the short field by those turnovers. Flip it off, incomplete. There was some pressure, and Canfield just dropped it off at the feet of Quiz Rogers. Spencer pacing her in the blitz.
Bit of a cat and mouse game going on right now between both coordinators. Oregon on this series showing a lot of players in the box, press, bump and run outside, and then reverting to a big zone defense, trying to confuse the 5th-year senior Sean Canfield.
But make no confusion of what both these teams are playing for, the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, you'd think there'd be a few mistakes come into play with that much on the line. Most felt more pressure on Oregon coming into this game as the favorite, the home team. The Need 13 on third down. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up, and Canfield delivers. A battle for the ball. It's won by the receiver, Adeniji. Damola Adeniji beating Jackson, and another on-target third down pass.
And it happens inside. Look at the number of green jerseys coming trying to get to Canfield, and then the receiver wins the ball.
But on third down, bump and run on the outside, not playing a big zone. They're going up against a 6'3" wide receiver and Adeniji, and those are the back shoulder throws Oregon State wanted to throw him. It's a perfect place ball again by Canfield.
Impressive hand strength for the former walk-on. And off inside. Adeniji is from right here in Eugene, played at South Eugene High. Wasn't a heralded recruit at all. Really had no offers. Bounced around Orange Coast Community College, so it's been a long journey to get back to his hometown and play for a chance to go to the Rose Bowl.
We asked defensive coordinator Nick Aliotti about the size at Oregon State at wide receiver, and if that worried him, he said, no, not really, because they can't run by us. But you got to cover them, and that was a big third down conversion.
Pressure again. Canfield flips it off, almost intercepted, and now a flag comes in. Casey Matthews had the ball in his hand, but they hit the quarterback late.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 35 in the defense. 15-yard penalty.
Costly 15 on Pasinger.
A little different look here. Watch what happens here on the inside when they come and they drop out. They're bringing folks from the outside, so it's a different look than we've seen tonight.
This time Sean Canfield was confused. He thought it was a big pressure, what we call cover zero, with no safety in the middle of the field. At the last second, those defensive linemen dropped out. That was almost looked like a little panic there by Canfield.
You agree with the call? Was that enough of a late hit to warrant 15 yards?
Well, I thought they had one they should have thrown 5 plays ago out of bounds.
Sets up the Beavers now. Inside the 30. Jacquizz Rodgers worms his way. Still running inside the 15. Look at the leg strength for the little guy. He just drove Kenny Rowe, the defensive end, backwards.
We watched Quiz Rodgers nail USC last year on Thursday night, didn't we? When USC was a big team, they couldn't get down to the guy. He's so low, you can't find him.
Look how quick he is, though. And that quickness, it demonstrates itself. They say James Rodgers is the faster of the brothers, but Jacquizz is quicker, and the strength at the end of the run.
He gives away about 40 pounds to Rowe, and he had O'Kenny on roller skates. This is James Rodgers on the fly sweep down inside the 10.
I'll tell you what, 2 very impressive drives. One at the end of the first half in a 2-minute situation to go up, and now the first drive of the second half with the football doing the exact same thing.
Well, the road team has won the last 2 Civil Wars. So much for having a home field advantage, and this offense being able to run it and throw it. Sean Canfield is on fire.
Can they punch it in? Or can the Ducks make them settle for a field goal attempt? Canfield looks to his right. Delivers incomplete. Fired the shot there off the hands of Adeniji.
Those are the type of throws Oregon State wants to target with Damola Adeniji. Just that big body, able to kind of post up. It's like a basketball when you're getting a rebound. He just box out the defender and let his size go make the play.
I've been impressed in this football game with the offensive line at Oregon State and how they have picked up the blitzes and been able at the same time, though, set their pads and run block.
Now, they haven't given up a sack. They were poor in the first part of the season. They have really improved the pass pro as the season has gone on. 3rd and 6. Canfield over the middle, touchdown. Casey Chose with his first touchdown of the season, and the Beavers extend the lead. so precise on third down in that drive, Canfield.
Sean Canfield is feeling it right now. All night long in the red zone, he's been dropping dimes, and you're going to see some action just right over the field. Because he's 6'4", he's got the vision to look over the defenders and just throw another accurate strike.
Well, that is not a big space that Canfield fit that ball into. Hoot boots it through. And the Beavers build on the lead, taking the second half kickoff, driving 75 yards in 7 plays. The 9-yard touchdown pass. Drive to open the third quarter by that Beavers offense. Canfield delivers the strike to Chose, and the lead is 9 now. No pressure building on Masoli and this offense. Varner tries to give him good field position. Takes it out across the 30. There's a first down handoff, and James knocked down by the big brute, Stephen Pye. I love this guy, the former Tongan rugby player.
You know what? He plays so low. He's got that leverage in that flat back. You hear coaches sometimes say, play low, play flat back. Watch the leverage and how he gets up inside. Leverage.
Look how strong he is, though. I mean, just he gets his arm on you. It's like a club. It looks like Reggie White just pulling guys down. And LaMichael James is a very strong runner. Ooh.
He's just country strong, as they say. This is James in motion now. Different look. Little fly sweep for the Ducks, and a flag is down as James carries across the 45 for a first down. McGrone on the stop. And check the penalty.
Defense, number 78. Penalty to decline. First down.
Olander was in the neutral zone, so the run will stand for James. A little different wrinkle there.
I think you're going to start seeing this in the second half now. You're going to start seeing different ways to get number 21, LaMichael James, the football.
Got 13 yards on that one. This is James again. Able to wriggle free, a hard-earned yard.
That's the one part of this game Oregon has not gotten on track with. They're a running football team, 231 yards a game. And at this point, 110 now, so that hasn't come about for them yet.
So it compliments Mark Banker, the defensive coordinator at Oregon State, and what he's been able to do really all season long. They had 9 new starters heading into this year. They lost 5 guys to the NFL last year. These guys have come a long way.
They sure have. This is James again. Turns the corner, and LaMichael James, a quick burst inside the Beavers 40. Tim Clark stopped him. Beavers up by 9 of the third quarter, but their cornerback, Tim Clark, still on the field. This is slightly grisly. You'll see just a flukish injury as his teammate Keaton Christic, number 32, chasing down the ball carrier and kind of lands on the ankle of Clark, number 21 there. And his foot turns at a very awkward angle.
Oh, man. Yeah, you just hate to see that. Just one of those freak injuries that sometimes happens. You just see Christic right there, just at the point, landing on his ankle.
They're helping Tim Clark to the cart. You got that boot on. And that's very tough because obviously what's running through his mind is if his team can navigate to the Rose Bowl, he may not be able to go.
Well, and he's a senior. This is his last year. This is his last regular season game in a Beavers uniform, and is a big part of this defense.
Well, it goes back to, again, what we were talking about just before the injury. Mark Banker, the defensive coordinator, they had so many bodies to replace on defense coming in this season, and he's done an outstanding job, as has Tim Clark, stepping up, being a senior, being a leader, having a great senior season, and as all the Oregon fans here hope that he does well.
Hey, look who's in the game. LeGarrette Blount, the infamous opener against Boise State, throws the punch, indefinite suspension, slowly kind of worked back into things, but hasn't carried the football. And Chip Kelly said he's our third string tailback. That's kind of how he's practiced. Has to earn his way back on the field, and now number 9 as the crowd cheers, and Blount tries to quiet him. Motions to the right of Masoli and takes the handoff, and Blount shows his power. Interesting situation, everything on the line. Bring this guy back in the game, and crowd now realizing he carried the ball. There again, the verbal taunt after the game, the punch thrown, the scuffle with security as he left the field. Very tough situation for Kelly to have to deal with in his first game as a head coach. It's been a long road back for Blunt. He's got the ball again, lowers the head, picks up about 3. He's been eligible to return under the terms that Kelly set out, various conditions that he had to meet, but hasn't gotten a chance until now.
I think it's remarkable that Chip Kelly kept this football team on track playing for the Rose Bowl tonight. Despite that, this is a first-year football coach. That distraction alone right there would derail most experienced coaches.
In your first game as head coach.
But just 4 yards on the 2 carries for Blunt. It's 3rd and 6 as LaMichael James returns to the game, and he's to the far right of the formation. Beavers showing blitz. 3 on the play clock. Masoli under pressure, throws it downfield for Mail, and he's broken up at the 5-yard line. Single coverage against the safety Lance Mitchell.
Hey, how about Mark Baker dialing up a blitz, Jesse, here on 3rd and 6, and then the job that Mitchell does on the outside.
We talked about the entire secondary he had to replace this year. Well, this is showing a lot of confidence in those replacement players. What a job by Lance Mitchell, just out competing Jeff Mail for the football.
Gonna go for it. Ducks are 10 of 17 on 4th down this season. Had the big 4th down conversion in that crucial drive against Arizona to tie the game at the end of regulation. Masoli fires right side. Caught by Mail. Just enough for a 1st down. In front of Docker, you see the clutch hands of Mail taking the blow, but holding onto the football.
And this shows you here that Jeremiah Masoli, in the face of a blitz coming from the corner outside, throws right in to it and completes it.
Mail's not big, only $175, guys. We saw him pregame. He's frail.
James gets a block from Masoli and gets the corner. Breaking an ankle over there and making the DB miss. That ball to Mail got through his hands. It bounced off the face mask. A clutch catch on 4th down. And another Oregon State defensive player down on the field. This is their linebacker, Paul Louis.
Where's another guy this defense certainly cannot afford to miss right now. Especially playing this type of spread offense with those zone reads, so critical. The middle linebacker having to recognize where the football is. And we've seen Paul Louis in the backfield a couple times with pressure tonight.
Came in number 2 on the team in tackles, and you hope when they're pushing and rubbing on that calf that it's a cramp. How do you cramp in 30 degrees?
Sure wondered that. Playing those cold games back when you were with the Patriots. You ever wonder that stuff?
I never got lathered up enough to sweat enough to cramp up.
Paul Louis, a guy from Hawaii. Never seen cold like this until he showed up in Oregon. But a crucial drive for the Ducks meanwhile. They fall 9-point deficit. Masoli and company taking over, and now in less than 4 minutes they've moved into scoring position.
Well, and Chip Kelly going forward on 4th down, which kind of makes you wonder, has Chip Kelly decide, hey, we can't stop Oregon State?
I think he's reading the writing on the wall, and it is right now that Canfield and Oregon State's offense, they figured it out. You know, unless they make mistakes, they're not going to stop themselves.
Blunt back in the game. And 2nd and 4. He's to the right of Masoli. Blunt's got it. Garrett Blunt runs over an Oregon State player and gets a 1st down at the 16. Keaton Christic, the big hitter, took the shot that time.
Man, what a different formation you got there. You got a couple of tight ends that look like upbacks. Here comes Wood.
Boom.
That's pinned up frustration after weeks, right?
That's the difference. The physicality he brings, a change of pace back to this offense.
Masoli keeps it. And gets the corner. Lowers the head. Gets about 3. We saw LeGarrette Blunt heading into Chip Kelly's office yesterday for a chat. Thought maybe he might
Be lobbying
this
a little
game.
bit.
Kelly's been a little bit coy about how and when Blunt might be used, but he's been practicing well enough to kind of earn a few carries.
And you'd imagine it's so critical for an offense, particularly with a guy like LeGarrette Blunt can wear a defense down, particularly late in the game with that physical style.
Well, I think LaMichael James has worn him down, you know, chasing him all over the football field, and all of a sudden you bring in this bulldozer.
The 1-2 punch.
This is Blunt. LeGarrette Blunt is loose. Touchdown. You're right, Craig. 12 weeks of frustration, embarrassment. Really became one of the villains of college football for that punch in the early season. Kelly, his teammates standing by and saying that's not indicative of the LeGarrette Blunt that we know. Game and LeGarrette Blunt finishing the drive that LaMichael James started with runs of 13 and 14 yards. There was that clutch fourth down completion to Mail, and then Blunt, physical 12-yard touchdown run. Very short kickoff, and here's James Rogers. The corner and a nice return. The Eagles will start at the 43-yard line. Or intelligent move brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Maybe a smart move bringing Blunt back in on this drive, and look at the power that the 240-pounder brings.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Chip Kelly driving the Mercedes with a decision.
That's fire. He's shoved down, Craig. The big fella.
Good job by that Oregon State, by the Oregon offensive line as well. They answered Oregon State's offensive line.
But how about LeGarrette Blunt coming in and capitalizing on his, maybe that might have been his only opportunity had that drive not ended up that way. He made the most of those carries.
Now can Canfield keep it going? The noise is back at Hudson. We'll quiet him down a little bit. Another clutch completion to James Rogers. Aaron?
Well, Chris, you mentioned 90 days ago, Oregon lost to Boise State, and of course it was the punch heard around the world. And actually, Jesse pointed this out yesterday in Chip Kelly's office. The book on his coffee table, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It's a book for 5- and 7-year-olds, and Chip Kelly said he sat his team down and he read it to them. It's basically about a little boy who thinks his life is falling apart, and Chip Kelly said, look, you have some bad days, you have to move on, stick with the program.
This is Quiz Rogers for a first down. You have some bad days, but that was a really bad and really challenging day for Chip Kelly in his very first game as a head coach.
So now Oregon State out there, and you saw the run right there. This is, again, Oregon State's offensive line coming out saying, look, okay, fellas, you're going to put it on us. We're going to either pass protect. How about Canfield?
Oh, he's just on fire right now. Oregon needs to find a way somehow to get pressure on him, or he's going to keep picking them apart. He cannot stay back there untouched.
There's a four-man rush. Good protection. Canfield is shot downfield, and he had a man open. It was James Rogers. Just overthrew him, but again, Rogers had Talmadge Jackson beat.
And did you see all the time Sean Canfield had to throw the football? I mean, there is no green jerseys anywhere near him.
I'm telling you, this offensive line at Oregon State, with a true freshman at left tackle and a bunch of guys mixing in there. I mean, they got one guy at right guard, Greg Pete. He has 25 starts for his career. Everybody else is very inexperienced. I mean, they've done a great job of picking this offense up.
There's Michael Phillip, the true freshman left tackle. A couple of sophomores, Craig, in there as starters as well. They're holding hands, trying to help that communication. With Hudson wide again on 2nd and 10. Canfield bobbled the snap, delivers short. This is Quiz Rogers again, makes a couple men miss and dives forward for 6.
It's amazing the impact Jacquizz Rodgers has had catching the football. We talked about 67 catches coming in. You can line him up at running back. You can line him up in the slot. Those little flat routes, those angle routes, Craig, those count. Those add up.
We have not seen him in the Wild Beaver yet. You know what? And that's another wrinkle to this offense. When he lines up back there, takes the snap.
How can you take Canfield out of the game right now, though?
Yeah. Good point.
3rd and 4. They dump it off short. And Quiz Rodgers moves the chain, so they're trying everything, and Canfield has the answer for it. That time they did bring pressure.
I love the 3rd down package. You see Oregon State here. Delayed screens and delays by players. You're going to see Canfield holding it till the final second, and Jacquizz Rodgers just kind of escapes out of the backfield.
You know what I'm impressed with is it's a small receiver, and you'll know this well as the quarterback, but the quarterback finds him. And Canfield bought time and knew his check down receiver for the 1st down.
Quiz took a couple of shots to the head from 2 different Duck defenders there. But he does not fumble. Quiz hammers straight ahead. That's the impressive thing. Well over 600 touches for Quiz Rodgers in his career. Never lost a fumble.
It's incredible. That is an amazing statistic, and you just jinxed him. But that motion play there by James Rodgers is the play that beat USC last year. And it's a wham block by a 175-pounder.
Talk about the impact those brothers have had in this offense. 62% of the offensive yardage has come from Jacquizz Rodgers and James Rodgers this year.
And tonight, Jesse, they've combined for 15 catches. Will Darkins, the fullback, is in the game. The offset eye. They fake it to Quiz. Look for James, but finally the pressure from the backside. That's Kenny Rowe who hit the quarterback. That's the first time they've actually made contact with Canfield in the backfield.
He had James Rodgers wide open on a comeback right on the outside of the field. Kenny Rowe, really a linebacker-type player. He's got tremendous speed, and he uses it to beat Mike Remmers, the right tackle, on that play.
So once again, Canfield faces a 3rd down. They need 4. Number 5 has had the answers tonight on 3rd down. As a penalty, just got a little bit more difficult to convert.
False start. 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
What is tough about those stacked formations that Rick Newhouse said is so tough to stop in this Beavers 3rd down package?
Free releases is the key. When you stack guys up, the corners cannot get their hands on them when they come off the line. It allows for free releases to get into their routes, and that's what makes that so difficult.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Empty backfield. Ducks rush just 3, bring pressure late, broken up. Jackson got his hand on the pass. And again, with a little help from that false start penalty and some pressure on the quarterback, that was Zach Clark who got there.
Yeah, Chris, I think that's the key. What you said right there is that Clark comes in, he gets the pressure, and is not able to deliver a really good throw to the receiver.
And he beat the true freshman left tackle, Michael Phillip, who we talked about earlier in this game. An interesting matchup going on. That left tackle, that true freshman, he's got to hold up for Sean Canfield to have time.
So Justin Cahoon, junior from Portland, 3 for 3 in the 1st half. This from 45. And he drives it right through. What a clutch performance tonight from the Beavers kicker. Ducks defense makes a stand. The lead back up to 5 points, 2:28 in the 3rd quarter. This is Varner again. 5-yard line. So we'll see if LeGarrette Blount, who's putting his helmet on, makes an appearance. Finally, the long-awaited return in that previous drive, a couple carries for 4 yards, and they had to convert a 4th down. And it was Blount showing the power after that.
You know what I think, and you asked the question during the break, he really has to be concerned with one of 2 things. Ball security, because he hadn't been out there in 12 weeks, and the other would be conditioning level. I think it's good. You got to sub him out and get him a blow and let those legs come back.
2 running backs in the game, James and Barner. Solely keeps it. Option look. Pitch to Barner on the edge. And that's a wrinkle we haven't seen so far tonight. 12 yards.
It's just it's the evolution, really, of the zone read. Another way for this offense to stay deceptive. And not as a defense. Just when you think you have Jeremiah Masoli pinned in, you forget about Barner, who lined up as a receiver, just kind of bubbled back.
Solely a 1st down throw, far side. 2-9. Muscles for a short game. Aaron's got an update on the field. Tim Clark's condition, Aaron.
Yeah, that is confirmed, Chris. Bad news for Oregon State, and of course Tim Clark, sad for him. Fractured right leg. Hey, CJ, good news for you. You know, you said you're going to stick around. Check how physical. This is the 2nd helmet that Oregon's equipment manager, Brett Moyer, has had to fix tonight.
What?
This is a physical game, the Civil War, if you will.
LaMichael James takes off down the sideline, headed for the end zone. Second half, that powerful Oregon running game is cranked up. 52 yards in the touchdown. Blount with the punishing touchdown drive, and then LaMichael with the strike from 52, and they'll go for 2, up by a point. James and Barner in the game. This is Barner in motion in front of Masoli. And now a wishbone look. Option. James knocked down short of the goal line. So that was a good play by Lance Mitchell, the safety, to disrupt it. 2-pointer fails, 1-point game, but James has made it a 5th lead change in this game tonight.
One of the Trojans got caught and just simply could not.
Masoli back to work at the 41 with the lead now. James able to wriggle free and fall forward for 4.
Well, Michael James has an interesting story. You think about his confidence. Earlier this year, he text messaged Chip Kelly and said, "Your head must be spinning." And Chip Kelly responded, "Well, why is that?" Well, Michael James then responded, "Your head must be spinning thinking about all the ways you have to get me the football this year."
By the way, he was the backup at that point, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, this was supposed to be the LeGarrette Blount show. They knew that James was a great talent during his redshirt season running around on the scout team, but they didn't expect him to have to make an impact and to be able to make an impact so quickly this season.
It just goes to show you, you never know when your opportunity is going to come up. James was back there behind Blount before that Boise State game, and all of a sudden he gets elevated, and now he becomes the man.
Has it again. I'll tell you what, ever since Blount got back in there, ran for a touchdown, LaMichael James has been inspired.
He's raised his game a little bit. He wants to get back on the field. Craig, I know you appreciate this. When your running back puts his foot in the ground like this when he sees the cut.
And I really appreciate also, Jesse, when I see those big offensive linemen up there paving the way. That O-line, Oregon, both lines tonight have played well.
That was lightning. Now Thunder comes back in. Blount Hamlet straight ahead, moves the pile a few yards.
It's interesting what you said about the offensive line. You know, Oregon lost 3 offensive linemen this year to the National Football League. And they had to replace a lot of guys, particularly in the interior of the line. They're doing a nice job tonight pushing it.
And you know what? 8 of their 10 on the 2-deep chart, they have 2 years or more of experience. So they might not have been stars for a while, but these 2 O-line coaches for both programs have gotten their players ready to play and compete. That's why they're playing for the Rose Bowl.
Beavers trying to do without their fine middle linebacker. David Louis is in the locker room right now with cramps as Masoli fires far side, and Mail makes a man miss and skips down the sidelines. Boy, is he clutch. Made the big 4th down catch and then previous touchdown drive and made Lance Mitchell miss here.
Yeah, you know what? Mitchell's over on the sidelines, and he's got help with that sidelines. Push him to the outside. Mail, just nice move. And again, this is a secondary now that lost Tim Clark. Their other corner a couple of series ago to a bad injury, so there's some shuffling and lack of depth out there for Mark Banker's D coordinator's job.
Blunt in the game on 1st down. Masoli keeps it. Loses a yard.
It's amazing to go back and think about Jeff Mail was a defensive back early in his career here, and it wasn't 2 years ago, 2007, 1 game removed from playing DB as a true freshman. 4 catches, 86 yards, and a touchdown in this Civil War game.
How about last week, though, in that Arizona game?
Oh, yeah.
That was exciting. He had 12 catches, and Jeremiah Masoli and this offense, that was a fun football game, and, you know, Arizona played their hearts out. They just came up short.
Mail in the slot to the left now on 2nd and 11. Blunt. Runs right. Picks up about 4.
It's such a different style of running with him, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, he gets if he gets into that 2nd level with a guy his size, 240, 250 pounds.
And defensive guys, you know how they are. They talk over there, and they're looking to see is it the little scatter back or is it the bull coming out?
Oh, yeah.
So Blunt goes out. Kenyon Barner back in. They stack 4 receivers to the left on 3rd and 7. Masoli keeps it. A design run, but the Beavers defense is ready for it. He still spins away. Masoli staying alive, and he'll finally take a hit for a loss. Shows the strength there. And lost 4 yards.
Holding my breath on that run. I don't know if you were too, Craig. That football being held very liberally out from Jeremiah Masoli.
You know what? His trademark is extend and stretch plays, and this puts pressure on defenses, but he had a couple of fumbles last week, so he'll put it on the carpet when he starts running around like that.
Give Oregon State's defense credit for pursuing the football and keeping the pursuit.
Good point.
So here's Morgan Flint, senior, reliable kicker, tries to extend the Ducks' lead.
This guy had 11 of 11 on kicks last year.
Yeah, on the
4
Civil War.
points, 3 field goals. He had a game last year.
Never missed inside of 30 for his career. This is a 29-yarder. They stop it before the snap and delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense, number 7.
Now it becomes a 34-yard attempt. But you can't breathe easy, though, if you're a defensive coordinator and the other team's going to get the ball and it's still just a 1-score game. Flint, an interesting story, had heart surgery. He was a junior in high school. Almost quit the football team to play baseball here at Oregon. They revived the baseball program. I think he made the right decision. He's a very reliable kicker. Knocks it through from 34. And the Ducks extend. But Canfield and company back on the attack. Down 4. Final business of protecting this lead for a minute 28. Not putting the ball on the ground. They've had a little near misadventure with the shotgun snap. So no foregone conclusions. They're going to put Masoli up under center here. As a quarterback keeper, he just drops back and loses about 4, and the Beavers cannot stop the clock.
Chip Kelly said going in at halftime that he had to talk to his team about being smart with the football and not putting it on the ground. They made an adjustment. They didn't stop themselves in the second half offensively. Therefore, you got to.
About LaMichael James jumping up and down there. The Texan with 166 yards. His 6th 150-yard game. And this powerful running offense trying to bleed away the last 6 minutes. James is our Wrangler 5-star player of the game. Slow start, but was explosive after halftime.
And I'd like to also, I know we would too, like to congratulate Oregon State on a great football season, Mike Riley and what his team did, and coming in here competing and playing a good game.
Pretty remarkable when you think of Oregon State. There was a period of stretch, 28 consecutive losing seasons, but now 2 years in a row, they've played in this Civil War game with the opportunity that if they won that game, they could go to the Rose Bowl. It says a lot about what Mike Riley's been able to do for that program.
No doubt about that, but it's bitter tonight because for the 2nd straight season, the Beavers have seen their Rose Bowl dreams dashed at the hands of their arch rivals. The big beatdown on their home field last year came to Autzen as confident underdogs, and again, had a lead here in the second half.
I'm asking you guys this: Oregon, Ohio State. Interesting matchup.
And Ohio State's got that great defense, and they'll be ready for it. And you know, you've got Oregon that's coming in there with their offense, but Ohio State.
And Terrell Pryor, the Ducks were right in there against the Buckeyes. Maybe the second choice for Pryor. Chose to go to Columbus. Chip Kelly very familiar with the challenge of trying to stop #2.
I think the Big Ten's just glad that their opponent's not going to be USC.
So are these folks here. Trojans dethroned after 7 straight Pac-10 championships. Ducks are going to win it outright with just the 1 conference loss at Stanford. And once again, Masoli was so clutch, doing it in different ways. The clutch 4th down pass earlier in the game. The bulldozing run on 4th and 2. And the 15-year Rose Bowl drought is over as Kelly gets dunked. What a rookie season. Pandemonium on Autzen. Folks rushing from all 4 corners. Look out, Pasadena. The Ducks are flying south for the first time in 15 years. What an incredible journey. 90 days ago, the embarrassment in Boise, the offense shut down. They scored just 8 points. Blunt's punch. The nation focused on this program for all the wrong reasons. Fast forward 90 days, and the Ducks are clutching the roses. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Ducks win it 37-33 and are Pasadena bound.